Hi, I'm back. I'm going to start a video. I'm going to watch this. I'm going to have this for a start.
The healthy brain is made up of millions of interconnecting nerve cells called neurons. Neurons constantly communicate with each other by sending signals through tentacle-like connections called axons and dendrites. The brain of a patient with Alzheimer's disease is much different. The orderly, organized arrangement of nerve cells found in a healthy brain become entangled, full of senile plaques and neurofibrillary tangles. The plaques and tangles interfere with the normal activity between neurons in the area of the brain responsible for intellectual thought. Alzheimer's disease affects people in different ways. The disease is slowly progressive from onset. Memory loss, confusion, disorientation, and poor judgment are a few of the symptoms of Alzheimer's disease.
Right, so when he's talking about the plaques, that's amyloid-beta. And the entangled stuff is similar, I think. I don't fully understand the process behind that. But what they discovered is that if we get rid of that page, start at the beginning. So now you know what's going on in the brain with Mum, my mother, whoever's watching this. Now you know what's going on in the brain. Have a read of that. Now you could pause the video at any point and just read that, and I could carry on and make the video shorter, but I don't feel like that will do it. So I'll go get my glasses just right so I can read some of this. Do you know what? I'm not going to. I'm just going to say that's how the endocannabinoid system was discovered, and that was in 1992. Turning back time. Base 1 inhibitor completely reverses amyloid plaques in a model of Alzheimer's disease. Interesting, eh? Yeah, so there's real concerns, is what they're saying, that if you inhibit this base 1 receptor, that it'll have effects to your body, side effects, right? Are they talking about side effects like where you go incontinent and piss the bed all the time now? Because that's what their drugs are doing to her. So having that concern is fucking ridiculous, isn't it? The person's going to die in months. Oh well, we know this works. They're saying it works. They're saying it definitely does do this. But it might lower the base 1 activity so much that it affects the body over time. Also, how come Cheech and Chong haven't got fucking problems then? How come Snoop Dogg's fucking partying up at 50 years old? I feel it. I struggle to believe that I've got to do this. I struggle to believe I've got to explain it. Photo. The brain of a 10-month-old mouse with Alzheimer's disease left is full of amyloid plaques. Red. All the red bits of the amyloid. Surrounded by activated microglial cells, which are the green. I don't know what that is. These pathologies are reversed in animals that have gradually lost the base 1 enzyme. Right. The base 1 enzyme is the amyloid-beta. That enzyme is creating the amyloid-beta. That's Mum's brain. That's what it could look like, according to the lab tests done on laboratory mice. And the only thing I can think here now that comes to my mind is someone's going to say, oh, but Mum's not a mouse, she's a human. But you realise we've spent the last 100 years creating pharmaceutical pills to give to humans based on the results on mice, and only that. The Salk Institute have released this as fact. June the 27th, 2016, cannabinoids remove plaque-forming Alzheimer's proteins from brain cells. Preliminary lab studies at the Salk Institute find THC reduces beta amyloid proteins in human neurons. That's what their preliminary lab studies found, is that it does do this. Medical news today. Marijuana compound removes Alzheimer's related protein from nerve cells. Right? It's just a report on the study that was done. That's all that is. If you find out something's true and factual, and you yourself use the stuff and have no complaints about it, millions and millions of people smoke marijuana socially and don't report side effects. It's anti-inflammatory. It's got pain-killing properties. It was discovered just a few years ago that we already produce it in our bodies. And now it has been proven that when you don't produce enough of it in your body, you have to replace it with new. And if you don't do that, you get a build-up of amyloid-beta. Is it sinking in yet? Smoking marijuana will stop someone with Alzheimer's disease getting worse. According to the studies, it may reverse it. When I imagine the proteins that do cover our neuroreceptors, once they're not being continuously bombarded by new ones, they degenerate anyway over time, I would imagine. So, it's a fucking no-brainer, isn't it? It's a no-brainer. If someone's got Alzheimer's disease, where these things are being coated in stuff, and you know there's a way of putting something in there that takes the coating off again, or stops further anyway, for sure, 100% certain that it stops further amyloid beta build-up, because the fucking tests show it, and they talk about reversing it, taking about it right there at the bottom. Our results demonstrate that sustained and increasing base 1 inhibition in adults can reverse amyloid deposition, which means where it's built up on the neuroreceptors, that's deposition. It's deposited on it. Deposition. It reverses deposition in an AD model mouse. That is a mouse with Alzheimer's disease. And this observation will help to provide guidance for the proper use of base 1 inhibitors in human patients. Oh, there you go. Base 1 initiates the generation of the B-amyloid peptide. Right? So that's what initiates the generation of it. So if you smoke weed, it will give tetrahydrocannabinol, which activates the cannabinoid receptor, which stops this, initiating the generation of B-amyloid peptide. Come on, let's have a look at this. So this is a pilot study in Geneva. So, but it's not finished. It's not done. It was to go ahead. 2019. Oh, there was a pandemic. Nothing's happened. in science in that time. And there's a helicopter flying around Mars, but apart from that, we have a blank screen again. Takes us right back to the beginning. So, remember the video, amyloid-beta build-up on the brain? Remember the fact that base 1 receptors cause amyloid-beta build-up? The base 1 receptors get hit when you smoke marijuana because the THC activates the cannabinoid receptors, which inhibits it. I'm done. Obviously there's always an argument for medicine in certain cases, certain things, of course. Many things, right? I'm not one of these anti-medicine people. I'm just saying the medicines that they give to my mum for Alzheimer's disease are ruining her body, making her incontinent, completely lost balance, can't move out of a chair, doesn't know what 10 minutes ago was about. Right, that's what's happened as the result of taking that medicine for 1 year. So I'm saying let's try a year with medicine that we know doesn't harm her, and according to the data will fix her.